Hello and welcome to another episode of Talking Politics here at The Hindu with me, Nistula Hebbar, where we unpack the news making the headlines in domestic politics. Last week was a blockbuster week for domestic politics in India, with results for 5 assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Goa, Manipur and Punjab coming out and springing their own surprises, with implications for domestic politics going ahead, not just this year, but for the next 5 years, and especially for what is to come later this year, which is the presidential, vice presidential elections, the fight in Gujarat, and ultimately the 2024 elections for the Lok Sabha. What are these implications of the results? How will they affect the election to the president and the vice president of India to be held in the middle of this year? That is going to be the subject of this week's Talking Politics, the changing face of the Rajya Sabha as affected by these set of assembly elections. The implications of these elections are not just outwardly, but also inwardly to political parties. Whereas on the one hand, the victory of the Yogi Adityanath-led BJP in Uttar Pradesh will have implications for the internal dynamics of the ruling party. The Congress, which saw the wrapping up of its government in Punjab, its defeat to the Aam Aadmi Party in very large numbers in Punjab, and the end of its hopes to at least win in Uttarakhand and Goa also coming to an end. This was a weekend of a lot of pain and soul searching. The party did call for a CWC meeting where Sonia Gandhi, the interim president of the Congress, offered to quit and also offered the resignations of her family members, her son Rahul Gandhi, YNR MP, and AICC General Secretary Priyanka Gandhi Vadra. This was, of course, refused by the Congress bigwigs. The CWC meeting had about the attendance of over 50 senior leaders of the party. Instead, a Chintan Shivir or an introspection meeting has been called, and the party said that it was en route to holding internal elections to elect a new party president in August and September of this year. While this did not address any of the major issues or questions arising from the defeat in these 5 assembly elections, there seems to be a feeling in the Congress that water has gone up over the nose, and one needs to really address what is happening, what is going wrong in the party, what shape it takes in the future, or will it be more of the same of what we saw in the CWC meeting is, of course, up to the senior leaders themselves. There may be some who will look at their individual careers and possibly make a move towards the BJP. At least that's what we are hearing. And there are others, of course, who may decide to stick with the party and raise the banner of revolt from within. What will be the fate of the Gandhi family in all of this and the leadership position is to be seen. As of now, though, status quo ante prevails with a lot of simmering tension below the surface. The big change from these assembly elections in the very, very short term are, of course, to be seen in the Rajya Sabha. Now, I'll have to read this out, whatever the Rajya Sabha situation, because it's a bit of a mouthful and it's a pretty complicated thing. So please do bear with me. By July this year, there will be 2 big changes in the Rajya Sabha. One, that there will not be a single Akali Dal member, and there will be only 1 member from the Bahujan Samaj Party left in the Rajya Sabha. And the Congress will come precariously close to losing the leader of opposition post in the Rajya Sabha. Why is that important? Well, there is no designated leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha, and the Congress, on the basis of its numbers, could manage it in the Rajya Sabha. This is a cabinet level position, and the leader of opposition in the Rajya Sabha is included in the Cabinet Committee on Appointments, and they clear the constitutional appointments to constitutional positions like the CVC, the CAG, etc. And therefore, a loss of this would lead to the exclusion of another forum for the opposition in what is being seen as a hegemony of the political hegemony of the BJP. Now, what else will happen in the Rajya Sabha? Well, all the 7 seats in Punjab are getting vacant this year. Elections to the 5 seats to 5 seats out of these 7 seats have already been announced, and another 2 will come up for polls in July. All these 7 seats are expected to go to the new victors, the Aam Aadmi Party. That means the Aam Aadmi Party already has 3 members of the Rajya Sabha there, and 3 plus they could enter double figures in terms of representation. Out of the current 7, currently there are 3 each with the Congress and the Shiromani Akali Dal, and 1 seat with the BJP. So Akali Dal, of course, is very understandably upset that it will be the first time in a very, very long time that a party will not have any representation in the Rajya Sabha. Now, Uttar Pradesh, the big state that it is, it sends 31 members to the upper house. Out of these 31, 11 seats fall vacant in July. The list of retirees include BSP senior leader and Mayawati's former Chief Minister Mayawati's key confidant, Mr. Satish Mishra. His colleague Ashok Siddharth also retires. And the sole member who is now left behind from the BSP would be Sri Ramji. In the upcoming Rajya Sabha elections to be held on March 31st, the Congress is already slated to lose 3 seats, 2 from Assam and 1 from Himachal Pradesh. The retirees include the party's deputy leader in the House, Anand Sharma, who was elected from Himachal Pradesh. With Thursday's results, additionally, the party will lose 3 seats of Punjab and 1 each from Uttarakhand and Uttar Pradesh. Here, the list of retirees would include former Minister Kapil Sibal, who was nominated from Uttar Pradesh, and another former Union Minister, Ambika Sori, who had been elected from Punjab. So, in total, Congress could lose 8 seats, bringing down its total tally from 34 members currently to 26. As per the Rajya Sabha rules and procedures, for any party to hold leader of opposition position, its strength must be at least 10% of total Rajya Sabha strength. The Rajya Sabha, which has 243 members currently, has only 237 members. So, for the party to hold on to the LOP post, it must have 20 to 25 members. So that Congress may narrowly fall within that purview, or it may not. Now, the opposition parties had also hoped to float a common candidate against the BJP nominee for president. Now, the President of India is elected by an electoral college comprising of 543 Lok Sabha MPs, 233 Rajya Sabha MPs, and 4,120 MLAs. The values of the vote of the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha MPs remains uniform across states, but the value of an MLA's vote depends on the population of the state. Here, the BJP's good performance in Uttar Pradesh means that the contest, anyway weighted in their favor, is now even more so. So what does it mean? It puts paid to the common candidate theory of the opposition. Will they get together and float a common nominee for the presidential elections? That's to be seen. All of this will unfold this year. It may also have a psychological effect in the contest going forward in Gujarat and Himachal Pradesh. This blockbuster of set of assembly elections has always been known to be extremely important as far as 2024 was concerned, because states like Uttar Pradesh and Punjab were going into polls. Uttar Pradesh sending 80 Lok Sabha members to the Lok Sabha. But the short-term impact of these election results is no less important. That is all I have for you this week. Thank you very much for watching.